Scarface to Platoon, Wall Street to JFK, Oliver Stone's pictures have tackled drugs, war, money and politics. Now state-sponsored citizen surveillance is his latest target in his film about Edward Snowden. Despite early recognition from the industry with 4 Academy Awards, Stone has carved out a name for himself as an anti-establishment filmmaker, ready to point the finger at his own country, the United States.
Think of it as a Google search, except instead of searching only what people make public, we're also looking at everything they don't. Emails, chats, SMS, whatever.
Yeah, but which people?
The whole kingdom, Snow White.
Oliver Stone, thanks so much for speaking to us. Now, while making your new film, Snowden, you had to take serious security precautions, limiting digital communication and encrypting information. Was that a principle, or would leaks have really endangered your film?
Well, you know, so many things can hurt a film. It's so fragile. I mean, these hackers all over the world are brilliant people, and if they can hack the Snowden script and put it online it's a great bounty, you understand? It's a point of pride. Hacker hacks Snowden, you know. So we didn't want that to happen because our script would have been endlessly pre-criticized, you know, before we came out. Also, you know, the film can be stolen too. After we had finished the film, we were worried about our footage, our raw footage, and as the film came into its final shape, of course, what's the worst thing that can happen? The NSA hacks the film and puts it on the line. And of course, it destroys the commerciality of the film. All these things concerned us, as well as, you know, I don't think the NSA was following it closely. I think they accept that a film will come and go because they have more control of the government has the ability to repeat and control the commercial airwaves, and essentially they repeat every so often, terrorism, fear, and a film will be remembered, maybe or not, and then it moves on. But terrorism and fear, whatever the line is, it's like an Orwell film. It's basically hate week. Repeat, repeat, repeat. That works, propaganda.
Now, Edward Snowden has asked President Obama for a pardon, saying
Yes.
he's provided a service to US citizens. How much do you think your film can contribute to that campaign?
It might. I would hope so, but, you know, I don't have great hopes of it. It's a wonderful act of grace if the president did that, insofar as he's already persecuted, I really use the word persecuted, so many whistleblowers and so many journalists. He's made it very difficult for journalists to get any. What Washington seems to want to do is lock up and only give the leaks they want, the leaks that favor the U.S., like the Panama Papers or something like that. They control those leaks, but not the ones that are critical of the government. So we are living in a closed news environment. It's an information war in a bad way.
You wanted to be special forces?
Yes, sir.
Why do you want to join the CIA?
I'd like to help my country make a difference in the world.
The average test time is 5 hours.
I'm done, sir.
It's been 40 minutes.
38 minutes. What should I do now?
Whatever you want.
The deputy director of the NSA offered me a new position.
Can you tell me anything about it?
You know I can't.
Now, in the film, the Nuremberg protocols are quoted at one point mentioned with this idea that I am just following orders is not an acceptable excuse. How much do you think that is true for those working in the CIA or the NSA?
It's very true. And it doesn't, you know, Nuremberg, it's all easy to point to the Nazis because everyone blames the Nazis. Yeah, sure, it's easy compared to looking at yourself and looking at the job you're doing and how inhuman you can become. You can be the nicest guy, have a family, but you're going in every day and you're blowing up people in Pakistan or Yemen with a drone attack, this, that, or you're committing cyber warfare, which is another unknown form of warfare, but you're involved in that. Many people are involved in cyber command, which is a new branch of the military in the U.S., or basic surveillance, which is data mining, but it's mass surveillance. It's not targeted surveillance. I'm all for targeted surveillance on suspects. And it works. Human signals and detective work and signals from NSA, they combine and but when we go after the whole world on the basis that we might get here and there another lead, it doesn't work. It hasn't worked. There's no evidence of it. It is a means by which the United States basically controls the world as much as it can. It's a global control, surveillance, without democratic consent. People don't know what's going on, but basically we're looking at every government, at leaders, we're looking at every corporation we can get to, and we use that information that we get to basically exploit the situation, and sometimes regime change in the country or change things around, cause problems. It's a global power. It's a policeman power, but it's being ill-used.
Hi, I'm Oliver Stone. This amazing little device allows us to talk to someone across the globe, express our views on sites visible by millions, or even order Chinese food while watching cat videos like this one. Adorable. But that's not all it does. It allows certain parties to track your every move every time you make a call, send a text. We are giving them access. The information you've put out into the world voluntarily is enough to burn your life to the ground. This will be our undoing.
And in terms of this time we live in, of mobile technology, social medias, there is an argument to say that we're complicit in this, and indeed tech companies are complicit in this. What do you think?
Of course the tech companies they were collaborators. Snowden proved it when he came out with was it the PRISM documents. Of course they're very collaborative, and they had to be. And you can understand the pressures they faced. I mean, Microsoft's leader, Bill Gates, this great humanitarian, called Snowden a traitor. Amazes me. On the other hand, as soon as that information came out, these companies started to move towards privacy because they realized they'd lose all their customers, so they encouraged encryption. They're providing, thank God, encryption services. It's important. On the other hand, you know damn well that at the same time, the U.S. government has not given up. It's got backdoors in a lot of these companies. It gets into machinery. It's a very tough system. It's a really controlling system, and basically it's a corporate fascism. They don't call it that in the U.S., but that's what it is. Collaboration with the state. Collaboration with the state.
In your film, Edward Snowden cites 9/11 as a life-changing moment when he enters the CIA. You've dealt with that event in the film World Trade Center.
Okay, listen up. You gotta evacuate the tower. Who's coming? Step forward.
I got it, Sarge.
I'll go. Sarge. All right. Follow me. Stay together.
How do you think the consequences are playing out for artists like you of this post-9/11 world?
Disaster. It's an ugly world, uglier world, closer to Orwell. Terrorism is the excuse, as Snowden says, for all this surveillance, all of it, and it doesn't make sense because, as I said earlier, targeted surveillance works, but not mass surveillance, and it's an insult to people's intelligence. You can have coup d'états in Brazil. They were looking at Petrobras for a long time, the oil company in Brazil. That's a very big target, as is the Venezuelan oil company. Anyway, those led, who knows how, but to eventually this discontent in Brazil that overthrew the government illegally, overthrew the president, Dilma Rousseff. And we see that again and again. It happens. There's a regime change. There's Assad in Syria. You see it, and you'll see it in Ukraine. You certainly saw it, a lot of movement. And now you'll see it against Russia. You'll see it against China. You'll see it against Iran. This is a very unstable world. And the U.S. is creating that chaos. Instead of trying to live with its enemies, making treaties, there's this desire to know everything, control everything. It's a very dangerous, dangerous cyber warfare, for example. We started it in 2007 in Iran. We never declared it. We just started it. With Israel, we used it to destroy the centrifuges. And they built them back up after 6 months. But the virus went around and was discovered. And eventually, other viruses began popping up everywhere. And everyone's attacking everyone now, hacking this, that. We don't even know if it's a state or it's an individual. Either one can do it. But it's a very dangerous form of warfare without a treaty. We don't know who started this next war. We'll start it. It will come like that.
Going back to earlier in your career, your 1986 film Platoon has been mentioned as an anti-war film showing the horrors of Vietnam. It won you Oscars, Best Director, Best Picture. You yourself experienced that conflict firsthand. As a young soldier, you volunteered for it. What were your convictions at the time?
I was kind of dumber. I was a young man. I didn't have much. I grew up conservative, very restricted, and my experience expanded greatly over there. I would say I was shocked and numbed and alienated, but I didn't understand all the implications of the world power scene and geopolitics. It really wasn't until my late 30s, after I'd been in Central America under the Reagan administration, I saw the hostility towards reform there, and then I began to understand the bigger, broader patterns of war. The United States has always backed the oligarchs, has always backed generally backed the evil regimes to suppress any kind of unbalancing of the situation. As long as the United States can control. South America was always our backyard. Central America, it was, but now we've extended the backyard to Asia and Europe, Africa. We're all over Africa now, and we're fighting this war in our head against everybody else. It's a strange society because it's looking for enemies, and because I think the aggression is part of our soul. I think we grow up on violence, TV. The news, the way it's presented, movies certainly, and violence is something very Anglo. It's the most dangerous beast in the world, I think.
Out of the hole fast! Take the pain. Take the pain! I got a bad feeling on this one, all right? Watch out! Rocket!
Just a word on the end of the Obama era. How do you see the last 8 years in the US?
I'm disappointed because I was rooting for him in 2008. I really, and I was out there, and I thought it was reform. He was going to go against the Bush policies, and he did just the opposite. He went along with everything. He doubled down on surveillance. He doubled down on war. Basically, he wanted to end the Afghan. He surged with the troops. It was a mistake. He surged in Iraq. No, we never get out of Iraq. Corbin O'Brien in the film, Rhys Ifan says, you know, it'll be a mess. 20 years, Iraq will be a wreck. And but the bigger problem is China, Russia, and Iran. Of course, he goes to the usual Cold War talk. I think he's a decent man, all that stuff. But I wish he'd pardon. Yes, it'd be a note of grace to end, pardoning the man who helped America look at itself.
You're looking at a possible death sentence.
I can't turn back from this.
Watch yourself.
We are running out of time.
They're gonna come for me. They're gonna come for all of you too.